Cheap homesteading, and today we're working on my Mazda B2300. I was driving home from work and I started to smell gas, and when I got home it was dripping underneath the truck. I haven't had time to look at it, so we're just going to take a look at it now. Okay, oh, there's a leak right there. It almost looks like it's coming right off the harness, but oh, you can see a squirt right out of my fuel filter. You know what, that is absolutely awful. You can tell I haven't changed my fuel filter for a long time, so we're gonna have to go change that, but I gotta run to Canadian Tire and get another filter. I just made it back from Canadian Tire, and you know what, the first Canadian Tire didn't have the fuel filter I needed, so I had to drive to another one, and you know what, it ate up most of my day. I would have thought that Canadian Tire would have tons and tons of these filters, because there's a lot of these trucks out there. There's a lot of Mazda B2300s in the city. I guess that people change their filters as regular as I do, and maybe not too many of them get sold. So I'm thankful that Canadian Tire is open a little later than most parts stores. But man, sometimes it can be a little frustrating when they don't have the part you need. But part of it is my fault. I should have changed that filter years ago. So let's get a pan under there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is try to get this filter out of its holder. There we go, it's out. There's a clip here and a clip on the other side, and you have to squish them together and kind of turn it and pull out on it. Squish it as hard as you can. There we go, it's off. Wow. Okay. So these things are stuck in there bad. So that was an absolute nightmare. Changing a filter on one of these is basically you're supposed to push the two tabs, pull out the coupler, put the new filter on, you just snap it all together, it is done. But you know what, that is what I get for maybe not doing my maintenance quite when I should. It's just absolutely crazy, you know, it kind of gets away from you. But in the long run, you know what, I'm going to try to get better with my own maintenance. The filter has different sizes. There's a big one here and a big one there, which is the green one, and the blue one is the smaller one. So we're just going to snap this in. If I fixed it right, I should be able to push it in, and it should stay there. I'm going to snap the green one in, and I lost my blue one. There's my blue line. My blue line is right here. Okay, so you give it a shove it in, then you give it a slight tug. Make sure they don't just pop off, which wouldn't be good. I'm going to turn on the ignition. I'm going to see if it leaks. Turn the key on. Okay, so the filter's not leaking, so that's definitely a good sign. We're just going to pop it up in place. Okay, so now it's got to go back in the clip. So there you go. That's all it is. There you go. The fuel filter's on. It could have went a whole lot easier, but you know what? You got to see what happens when you don't change your fuel filter regular enough. Number one, you get a leak. Number two, the couplers kind of get rusted right to the fuel filter. When I snapped the new fuel filter on, she went on, and make sure you pull on the hoses, because especially if you have a hard time getting them off, it makes it a little easier to pop off. So you really have to give it a good shove, make sure it's locked in place. You don't want that popping off when you're on the road. So that's about enough for today. You guys have a good one.